Thank you for joining this session where we'll be talking to 3 organizations using Amazon Business to keep their costs down while increasing their visibility of spend. I'm Cheryl Clifford, a Senior Professional Services Manager for Amazon. In professional services, we're privileged to work with a vast range of companies from care providers to pan-EU organizations to startups to healthcare. And the one thing that those vastly different organizations are most likely to have in common is the need for a one-stop shop type purchasing solution that they can keep track of. So, with that, I'd love to introduce you to the panelists on this session and ask them to introduce themselves, their organization, and their Amazon business journey so far. Bill, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you so much, Cheryl. Bill Foglio, Senior Manager of Global Indirect Categories at Element Solutions, Inc., headquartered in Connecticut, USA. We are a specialty chemicals manufacturer. We are located in the Asia Pacific, EMEA, and Americas regions. We have about 4,500 employees globally. And we are using Amazon as an integral part of our procurement strategy.
Thank you, Bill. Alice.
Hi, Alice from Vending Spoons, an Italian mobile application developer. Our company is known primarily for iOS mobile apps, and this year we have been selected by the Italian government to design and develop the official contact tracking app for Italy, and we released the app in June. I work in the people operation team, and our mission is to create the greatest working conditions for the spooners. This is how we called ourselves. And we started to use Amazon even before Amazon's business started in Italy. And once Amazon Business did arrive in Italy, we were super happy because it solved so many problems with invoicing and also allowed for different groups and authorization levels. This meant that Vending Spoons opened up Amazon to more users, such as receptionists, for example, and we had a complete overview on what people were buying.
Thank you. And finally, Joseph.
My name is Joseph Sullivan. I'm a Global Procurement Manager for British American Tobacco. BAT is the second biggest company in its industry, and it's a very simple company. We make cigarettes and we sell cigarettes. Increasingly, however, we're evolving our business to be involved in potentially risk-reduced products such as e-cigarettes. And within the procurement department, we look after spend across the globe of over £7 billion. Most of that is indirects. And Amazon Business has really helped us to manage that spend more effectively and more efficiently. Initially, we did a pilot in 2019 in the UK, and then subsequent to that, we've rolled out Amazon Business to the US, to Canada, to France, to Germany, and as export markets also to Austria and Switzerland.
And Joseph, before rolling out with Amazon Business, what were the key challenges that your organization faced when trying to keep costs down and gaining insights from the data that you had on spend?
So one of the key challenges was to build a business case to justify the deployment of Amazon Business. And what was very useful was Amazon helped us analyze our existing spend items and compared them to prices available on the Amazon platform. And that was really key in helping us justify the deployment. And then what we did, we piloted in the UK, specifically in the head office, with certain categories of spend, and built really on the success there to roll out in other countries. And we have a regular drumbeat of analysing our spend that goes through Amazon, and the richness of that data provides us some really good insights as how to make the most of the platform.
And Bill, is that something that resonates for an organization like yours that's now operating with Amazon Business in multiple geographies? What were the challenges you had when trying to understand what you were spending across all of those different businesses?
Yes, and the key issue there, Cheryl, is that they brought me in to handle indirect categories. They had never focused on that area before. It was always raw materials. So I was coming into a situation where there needed to be a lot of organization brought to it. The previous company I worked at had Amazon. I saw the benefits of it there. To be totally transparent, when I arrived to Element Solutions in November, Amazon was already rolled out to the US and it was working great. And the problem there, the issue up front was, again, tail spend, which basically consists of many transactions of low cost unit price items. And we had to get our arms around that because it flies under the radar because of the low amount of each unit of spend. The unit price is so low, but it adds up. So it needs to be tracked. And so it was already in the US. And as we speak now, I am currently, I have rolled it out already to the UK, and I'm working on the rest of Europe right now so that they get the benefits of the data tracking and the management of the tail spend.
Thank you. I imagine, Alicia, in a company where you're developing really exciting apps and you're looking at an organization and indeed an industry with rapid growth, tracking small amounts of spend, the sorts that Bill was just talking about, is probably not on anyone's favorite to-do list. So how did you work with the challenges in making people understand that this sort of thing is something that could be managed better?
Well, at Bending Spoons, we are always open to new solution that allows us to be more efficient, and we truly believe of quality over quantity. And that's why we were super open when Amazon Business did arrive in Italy. And this new solution allowed us to avoid challenges we faced in the past, like having many different suppliers for everything, and like troubles in understanding what the best price was for something, or like tracking delivery time, and have a full overview of all these different transactions, because we do a lot of one-shot purchases because maybe we need items for a shooting or an advertising, and on Amazon we can find pretty much everything we need. So we have one only provider and a full panel with an overview of every kind of a transaction, which makes our accountants very happy.
And I'm sure that we're not the only organization that's trying to work with you with a wide range of catalog offers. So what is it about Amazon Business, Bill, that gives you the ability to see the data, to be able to see what your organization is spending? How is Amazon Business different?
Well, that's the main thing about Amazon. The benefit is the robust reporting resource and the capability of going in there on your own, not relying on Amazon to do it, not relying on your own limitations of data at your company, of data gathering. It's very robust. You go in there, it's very intuitive, and you can go in there, slice and dice the data any way you like to, and you can get what you're looking for. So that is really the key to managing the tail spend in the indirect space.
I like that. When Joseph and I were talking earlier, he said something which is a favorite saying of mine: if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So, Joseph, what does that mean for BAT? What does that mean in terms of being able to manage tail spend with that added visibility?
Well, I think as a general point, is one of the big things that we struggle with in our department is to get good quality visibility of our spend, not just for our tail spend. But what we're finding is as we're using Amazon, actually the place where we actually have the best, the most complete data set and the most reliable data set is actually in areas where we're spending money with Amazon. And it allows us to make better decisions. It allows us to see where the opportunities are. For example, if we can see that a large amount of money is being spent through Amazon, maybe we actually roll that into a strategic sourcing project and address the spend in a different way. But it also allows us to spot purchases that look a bit unusual, and so then we can have the appropriate follow-up to understand what the justification was for buying those items. So it really helps us exert the right level of control on our spend.
And Alicia, I think you mentioned earlier that about 80% of your office purchases are made on Amazon. So what kind of insights have the reporting tools been able to provide you on that spend?
Well, in our case, we don't buy high volumes of items. As I said, it's more one-shot purchases. But having Amazon as a partner allows us to have, yeah, as I said, 80% of the purchases in one single report. And this allows our accountant to save a lot of money, sometimes, but a lot of time in doing the analysis of these reports and understand clearly where the money goes and then allocate different budget, for example, for different teams or events, for example, because you use Amazon Business also for events, props, and this is kind of a huge thing for Vending Spoons. So.
It's one of my favorite things to do with a customer is to work through the Amazon business reporting tools that are built into each account. So the Amazon Business Analytics tool is present on every single Amazon business account, and it takes every single piece of data that is happening in your account on your spend, and it provides it in a way where you can create your own reports, including the fields that you want to look at, and you can change the time periods that you're looking at. You can change the group amounts that you're looking at. If you're a Business Prime customer, you also have the ability to benefit from spend visibility. And this is a really interactive reporting tool whereby you can click into certain categories of spend and then drill down to see which group are buying that category. You can then drill into the group to see which employee is buying that product. So this reporting, and I think I like what Bill said earlier, it's something that you can do, but the reporting gives you the ability to autonomously interrogate your spend over an extremely wide catalogue and an extremely long period of time, which you can control.
Cheryl, I would add to that by saying the other key thing to point out is the usability. So, I've deployed a bunch of systems, during my career, and the ease of implementation and also the ease of getting these reports that you refer to, it's great. It's really, really intuitive. Doesn't need training. It's self-evident. So I think that's another key benefit to underline.
That's great customer feedback. Thank you. And so, Joseph, as part of your overall procurement strategy, when you think about how Amazon dovetails into, as you mentioned, the wider, more strategic contract spend, why is spend visibility important to your overall purchasing approach?
Yeah, so it's really key. We've got limited resources within our procurement department. It's really important that we allocate those resources to areas that add the most value. And frankly, for the tail spend, we don't really want to touch it at all. So we want a systemized approach, and increasingly Amazon is providing that solution to us. So it is allowing us procurement folk to focus our resources on higher value adding activities with our more strategic suppliers. And so that's one of the key benefits that we're starting to realize.
And Bill, do you get too involved with the spend visibility on your account? Is that your finding as well when you're looking at business analytics?
Yes, and it is very key, and that's the key piece of data, that we're looking at. I think Joseph mentioned it before. It's low unit price, high activity items, but they can add up. And then when you look at something, say in maybe your IT category or something else, that it just emerges, and you say to yourself, "Oh, wow, maybe there's a better way to do this." And a better way to consolidate the spend and look at things of that nature. So it becomes very, very critical to the strategic process of having that data.
And what would you change, Alice, if you think about your overall procurement strategy now and where you want to move to in the future? How can Amazon support you in that strategy growth and change?
I will say that since Bending Spoons is very data-driven, having access to the spend data, it's something very close to culture, but it's allow us to have data points we can use when we launch internal policies as well. For example, we are not a remote company, but during the lockdown, we relied a lot on Amazon for a rollout or a working from home policy. And with Amazon, we managed to create a list of items and to have a clear idea of how much money we were going to spend with the rollout of the initiative. And everything went so smoothly when we opened this service to all the spooners and allowed them to buy their equipment. So probably also in the future, we'll consider to use this data and these reports as a support, a strategic support for new decisions and policies in this direction.
I'm pleased to hear it. And Alicia, what would you recommend for companies who are perhaps considering Amazon Business and how they could handle Amazon Business as part of addressing the challenges on spend visibility?
Yeah, I have to be honest, I like to buy things and my accountants pay and study the data. So full transparency here. The strength of Amazon Business is that the interface and the usability is very similar to buying things on Amazon. So this is a great point because your employees won't have to learn pretty much anything about using that, and the reports are super customizable and easy to use, very intuitive. Another suggestion is don't be too scared to give power to the employees to purchase what they need, and think outside the box. Amazon offers a very gigantic catalog of stuff, so don't approach it as a traditional supplier. There's so much power in the search tool. For example, you can just type the problem you have and Amazon will provide a list of items that actually can solve it. With sometimes items you don't even know they actually exist. So try to approach it in a different way and not traditional way, and use it also as a tool to increase satisfaction of employees. Use it as a empowerment tool for them, and your accountants will be super happy, and the procurement department for sure, because it's a very, very well done partner, and you can always rely on your Amazon person account when you have any kind of problem, which I have to be honest, doesn't happen very often.
That's great to hear. Bill, what advice would you have for people who are perhaps considering what to do about the visibility of spend on tail purchasing?
I just think Amazon is the perfect solution to get, even just to get started. If you have ideas of doing something more grand, that could come down the road. But if you want to get immediate grasp of your tail spend items, and even other categories, if you have nothing else to go on, Amazon offers the robust tools and the resources to get you going and get you on the right track to strategic procurement.
Is that your finding also, Joseph?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think the spend visibility is a key piece, but it's only part of the reason why Amazon works for BAT. It's the ease, it's the convenience, it's the speed, as well as the pricing of the products available on the platform. So, as a complete package, we're very happy with the solution. It ticks lots of boxes for ourselves.
Well, I'm delighted that you're all happy with the Amazon Business solution. I'm most pleased that you're able to get the visibility you need while improving on the costs of the overall cost of purchasing. So thank you all for joining this session on spend visibility and managing costs on Amazon Business. If you're interested in finding more, check us out on www.business.amazon.co.uk, and we hope we can share more information with you on how we can support your spend visibility and cost solution.